penalty because I said I once upon a time I was like all for it, and then I was changed my mind, and then I said, well, it depends on who the people is. But after you gave your wonderful, what should I say, book about, dang it, I can't think of what I'm trying to say right now. Oh, death penalty. You helped me to see another perspective, because that's what tunnel vision is, to be able to share different opinions, and we don't have to necessarily agree, but
we can agree to disagree sometimes.
Yeah, we can agree to disagree, but the point is, part of the reason why we're doing this show, because that happens in real life, that people talk all the time, and sometimes they get into an argument because they're not willing to respect. The person does not have to agree with you, but the point is to be able to respect their opinion, and you go on with your life.
Yes.
So, as I was saying, I was trying to remember what Vicky said earlier to make my punchline here.
Well, I was saying that I believe that a person that is convicted of a heinous crime that they feel like they should put on give them the death penalty. I don't think that they should get the death penalty, because they could suffer more by staying alive, and having to and knowing that they have to spend the rest of their life in prison.
Okay.
And that they would never see freedom again.
Okay, I can see that point. I can respect that. I can even agree with that to a certain degree. But it's like this. If that sucker done did, like I said, it all depends on what he did. Like, because it's one of the things where easier said than done when it don't hit home. But when it hit home, man, I'm going to have to pray a couple times before I be like, okay, let him go to jail. Because if he do something to mine, I don't know if I'm going to be so polite. But I'm willing to see your point of view and, kind of go over to the side.
Well, the point I was making is if you kill them, you taking them out of their misery. But if you allow them to stay alive, they have to live with that misery. And misery being all the different issues of life that they have to face being in the prison system. Because the prison system is not an easy place to live.
And I agree with you on that.
And a lot of those people that commit those type of crimes, don't get me wrong, they got some career criminals that are evil and they do all kind of things and they hardcore and all that. But a lot of those people that they be putting on death row, and they be talking about, we gonna put them to death and all that. Some of them, they be like,
and I
they
see
don't
that,
be
but
that
I still
strong.
go back to what I said. Once it hit home, when it hit home, that's a whole nother conversation. So you're saying that if it was you and it hit home,
I wouldn't want them to be put to death. I actually have had situations that occurred in my life.
Okay.
And I did not want the person put to death. I wanted them to go to prison.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, I still stand in that position.
Okay.
That I feel like they will suffer more being alive, dealing with all kind of people that of different walks of life, people that are way more crazier than them, way more dangerous than them. And even dealing with how the system is set up in there, where they have to deal with the correction officers or whatever the case may be. The diversity of nationality, gangs, everything else. Like, they have to deal with all that. And then the other thing is that they can be stricken with illness up in there, and they can die in jail. A lot of people don't want to be die locked up. They want to die with their family.
Okay, I see that point. But on, the advocate, like you reminded our listeners that I'm an advocate, a political person. So on a political note, yes, it would be much cheaper just to put them in jail, because, it's about money. It's about dollars and cents. So we're going to save a whole lot more money if we put them in jail than to kill them. So on that perspective, I can see. And anyway, I'll try to talk about this subject. Okay, let's move on.
So we wanted to revisit recidivism and give you a definition from the dictionary.
And what dictionary is that?
The Merriam-Webster.
Not Dika and Vicky, but Merriam-Webster.
And it says, a tendency to relapse into a previous condition or mode of behavior. especially relapse into criminal behavior. That's specifically what we're talking about. But recidivism in the criminal justice system.
Yeah, because I was going to say, if you just read that definition, that don't even have to be criminal. We can do that on MGP every day.
Right.
We fall into the same.
So it's just saying that we all can have that ability.
And then, but it seems like it's very well done when we're talking about criminal justice. We don't never talk about it on just the GP. Okay, go ahead.
So more information is recidivism means literally a falling back, and usually implies into bad habits. Silky. You don't have to go to jail to fall back into bad habits. It comes from the Latin word recidivus, which means reoccurring. Recidivus itself came from the Latin verb recidere.
You really know your Latin, don't
which
you?
Is...
You said the word, bring it. Vicky took Latin and she forgot to tell me.
Which is a composite of the prefix re and the verb cadere.
Stop water. Stop me, drink some water.
Meaning to fall. And means to fall back. Recidivists tend to relapse or fall back into old habits, and particularly crime.
So I'm about to remind you, you're recidivism. You're going back into your bad habits. You know we ain't gonna be doing that no more.
So I'm gonna stop it right there.
Thank you.
So the whole point is we were just want to give a better definition, even though we gave like a layman version.
Yes.
But we wanted to give a dictionary version.
And why are we talking about recidivism today?
Because we were talking about the statistics of, people going to prison and people in prison, the amount of blacks that is in there.
Oh yes, because we talked about that last show.
We ourselves we're both African American. If
y'all didn't know that already.
And it has hurt our families, our lives, because it's a shortage of black men.
Yes.
Because a lot of them are in prison.
Yes.
And the reason why it's affecting us is, first of all, the population of blacks is small anyway.
Yes. We said it on our other show.
It's a small number of us in the whole population of the U.S.
Okay.
And then a big old chunk of them is in jail.
Yes.
So that hurts us in ways that we can't even mention all of them. But, fathers to our children.
Trying to find a man.
Yeah.
And then we got to go reach out to variety. Because
women are, fighting over who's going to get the best man and all this kind of thing,
But you missed what I said. Because a lot of them been jail, so then we got to reach out and do variety.
And then the other thing is, variety. I'm not discriminating, but I'm just keeping it real.
Variety.
It even makes it, even for those that are heterosexual and they desire a man, some men have chosen to live the alternative lifestyle, so then that shortens it too. So you have the men that's in prison, and then you have men that aren't in prison, and then a portion of them don't even want to be with the same sex. So then that minimized it even more. So anyways,
boy, our show is very fruitful. We talk about all kind of stuff, huh?
But then at the same time, just men in general representing the black race. I mean, it's a large amount of them that are in prison.
Yes,
so we just wanted to pinpoint that. I mean, we have other nationalities and we spoke on that, but today we wanted to speak on the African American, as it is Black History Month.
Oh, is that why we're doing it? Okay. No, because we was black. Okay.
And so moving right along, we wanted to highlight Straight Outta Compton.
And why we do? Can we talk? We gonna move into a different subject now.
No, it's actually the same subject.
Oh my goodness.
It goes together.
Oh my God. Okay.
It goes together because we do have some people that end up going back and forth to prison.
Yes.
And they may have started out going for something that was minor and it grew. Because you have some people that are career criminals and some people that just get caught up in the system. Like you can talk about people that are in the foster care system. and how because of circumstance, you know,
and it is a big number of foster youth that are in prison.
So my point is circumstances. There are some people that have fallen into certain circumstances and ended up in prison. Like, even if we go over to the women's side, which we only going to touch on that briefly because we're going to talk about that on another day. But you have women that are in prison because of domestic violence, and they fought back and they ended up killing the abuser. You know, so that's just one example, but there's very, very, very a whole, I guess I'm using the wrong term, wrong vocabulary, but there's a whole lot more circumstances out there that has caused people to go to prison when that wasn't the plan.
Okay.
So that's why I said that we are talking about the same subject matter. We just kind of veering into going to discuss Straight Outta Compton. That movie really hit home for me. I thought we were going to talk about
racial profiling.
Racial profiling is in Straight Outta Compton.
Okay, but we're still talking about recidivism. Okay,
yes.
Go ahead.
And we were talking about going back and forth to jail, and so I was saying that how circumstances have caused some people to end up going to jail in the beginning, and eventually it turned into a lifestyle.
Okay. So Straight Outta Compton.
With Straight Outta Compton, you know,
Eazy-E,
we
Dr.
found
Dre.
that they actually went through a lot. And I mean, they actually was telling us my story. I may not have went to jail. I may not have been even harassed by police, but I have had family members and friends who experienced the things that was in that movie, Straight Outta Compton. And part of it is racial profiling.
Yes.
Part of it is going to jail, innocently going to jail.
Yes.
Part of it is police planting drugs on people to have a charge to take them to jail. Sometimes you just happen to tag along with somebody that got in trouble and they put you in on it. The police would, you know, because that's how it was. You know, back in those days, we had LAPD was corrupted and NYPD. So we had it on the West Coast and the East Coast.
Okay, before we go any further, we like to give definitions of what we're talking about so people won't think we are talking off the top of our head. This is from... Where we get this article from, Vicky, now? I done told people...
A Clue 100
ACLU. Now we might have to look that up now.
.org.
Okay, thank you. Racial profiling definition. Racial profiling. Oh, I'm so... My apology.
You can go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that word we can't say. We did a whole show on that sucker.
No,
okay.
Sorry.
No. Yeah. Racial profiling refers to the discriminatory practice by law enforcement officials of targeting individuals for suspicion of crime based on the individual's race, ethnicity, religion, or national origin. You want me to keep going?
Criminal profiling, generally as practiced.
I'll say yes or no. Okay, go ahead.
By police. Is the reliance on a group of characteristics they believe to be associated with crime.
Okay. You gonna give examples?
Examples of racial profiling are the use of race to determine which drivers to stop for minor traffic violations.
Oh, I forgot we're doing an example. I was going to say,
commonly referred to as driving while black or brown.
Oh, wow.
Or the use of race to determine which pedestrians to search for illegal contraband. So I know when in Straight Outta Compton, you know, they showed, I remember this one scene where they were at the studio and they had went outside and they were talking outside or something or another, and the police came up and started harassing them like, you ain't supposed to be in this neighborhood.
Right.
I remember true life situations where, you know, as an African American or a black person, you could not go riding through Beverly Hills without being pulled over. Matter of fact, you can drive anywhere without being pulled over in a lot of cases.
Yes.
But if you were in a white area, they automatically assume that you was up to no good.
Right.
Some of the people actually lived in those areas and they harassed them. I know people that lived in nice areas and the police would harass them and say, what are you doing over here?